microphones that are ready.
Exactly. Ooh, let me take you to the mountains. I say, ooh, let me take you to the sea. I breakfast with Bob and Paul.
Poncho Man bringing it like only he can. This is Breakfast from Kona. My name is Bob Babbitt. His name is Paul Huddle. We're presented by Active. The hashtag is Inspired to Race. And we're sponsored by Timex. And every one of our guests today gets a Timex watch, Rudy Project, GoPro, MPA Graphics, Lava Magazine, and of course Babbittville Radio. Our next guests from Team Timex, Roger Thompson, Lisa Roberts. How are you both?
Great, thanks.
Amazing. Amazing now.
Amazing. Okay, so Lisa, let's start with you. You are racing as a pro, and you had the distinction last year of being either the first person not to make it here to Kona. How tough was that?
That's actually way tougher than actually qualifying, I would have to say, because there's only one of us who's going to be the first to not make it, and that was me. So
how many made it?
How many made it?
Yes.
30. Last year, 36 or 7 total were there.
Right.
And by the time it was all said and done, I actually had a few more points than some of the other girls who had qualified, but because of the early qualification, I had missed out on the actual slot. So
a lot of people are probably out there right now, Babbitt, going, what do you mean I didn't make it to Kona?
Yes.
But we're talking about the cut
pros.
line. The cut line and the pros, basically.
That's
so if you
what
think
you're
about
talking
the PGA
about.
cut line, you're talking about
the cut
same
line.
exact
So
thing.
we're talking the same exact thing. So
Yeah.
in the PGA, the top 37 make an average of $2.4 million.
Yes,
So
exactly.
you made 2.3, so you weren't allowed to.
You weren't allowed
yeah,
to
I had to cut back a little bit last year. 2.3. Yeah.
So Lisa, give us some background. Where'd you grow up and what were your sports?
I grew up in a small town in Illinois. I grew up as a runner, a middle distance and distance runner, and then progressed into running in college and beyond. And I moved to Tucson, Arizona about 15 years ago.
Became a bike racer.
Yes, I did. Quickly got sucked into the triathlon scene and the bike racing scene when I moved to Tucson.
And balance both, right? You still race bikes and do triathlons.
Yes, I do.
Where did you go to school? Where did you run?
I ran at Southern Illinois University.
SIU,
Salukis.
Yes.
Couldn't get into Arizona?
No.
Just checking, yeah.
And the funny thing was, when I moved to Tucson, of course, I was still a runner at the time, so I approached the U of A track coach because I wanted to run with the U of A track girls.
Because they're the best.
Dave Murray.
Yes,
Yeah.
Dave Murray.
Yeah.
Dave Murray was there at the time.
He dropped Tuttle from the team.
Oh, good for him.
Like a bag of rocks. Get rid of that.
And me coming from Illinois, my first question was, and I was there in August, I said, so when does your indoor track season start? And he looked at me and said, what indoor track season?
This is Tucson, lady. We don't need indoor track.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what I like is this. So this year, you had to finish top 4 at Ironman Lake Placid. Was that correct?
Yes.
To get here?
Yes.
And so you went there. And how many Ironmans had you done already this year?
I had done 4 within this qualification period. I had done 4 already.
4 already.
Starting with Arizona the previous year.
And so how'd you do at Arizona?
At Arizona, I was 7th. That was a little bit disappointing for me, but.
Okay, then.
Then it was Los Cabos.
Okay.
I got 2nd there.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, to Lindsay.
Yes.
Then it was Brazil, where I got 5th at Brazil.
Okay.
Good
and then it
race.
was France, where I was 3rd at France.
And that still didn't get you the points you needed.
No, I was just shy, so I needed to go do yet another
Just one more Ironman race.
Just
What's
one
the big
more.
deal?
Just one more, yeah.
And so that was Placid.
That was Placid.
Not too much pressure. You have to finish 4th or better.
Correct.
And what'd you get?
I got 3rd. I couldn't help myself. A little bit of an overachiever. We all are.
How did that go? I can't imagine, like, okay, I've got to be 4th. And as you know, Ironman is Ironman, so anything can happen. Where were you at different points in the race? Would you come out of the water? How did it go on the bike? And did you have to push and like, oh my God, I got to get into
I had quite a disastrous swim that day. And actually, after most of the pros and the faster age groupers got onto the bike, they had a lot of lightning storms that day. So they ended up pulling about 800 age groupers out of the water after the first lap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So got onto the bike and pouring down rain, lightning everywhere. Had no idea where I was at that point in time, you know, place-wise or otherwise. So I just rode scared and just continued to ride. And then picked off a few girls, picked off a few more, and went, I got to be close. close. I got to be somewhere getting close to the top 5. And then finally I did hear, you're in 4th now. I said, okay, that I can do. That's doable.
Do you trust that when you hear that? Because I've heard people on the side of the road.
In front of you got to be going, yeah.
Yeah. You know, that marathon, anything can happen, but that's my strongest point. So I actually relax a little bit when I finally get onto the run. So. Yeah,
that's great.
So, Roger, take us back. You were a cyclist, starting what, age 13?
Yeah, at a young age of 13. You know, when cycling was really popular in the mid 80s for any, prepubescent boy.
And this is up in Washington?
Yeah, up in Spokane, Washington. Actually, I got into cycling. Yeah, exactly. Shaving your legs. Wow, what does that mean? That was back when you had to wear earrings in the correct ear and stuff like that. But anyway, we had the 84 and 88 Olympic cycling trials in Spokane, which was phenomenal. He had Alexei Graywall in the 84, finished, he actually won the race, or Ron Kiefel did, right behind my house. So that was really inspiring, and so that got me into cycling, and I still have the program with Rebecca Twiggs' autograph and Connie Carpenter, all these legends. And
I love hearing these names.
I do too.
Rebecca Twiggs. Okay.
My man.
Yeah. And I mean, that was to me, that was just really a very rich time in cycling. So, and junior cycling was exploding as well in the mid to late 80s and early 90s. And it just took me all over the place, and you just learned a lot about myself and racing. And
did you ever race against a guy named Lance Armstrong?
Where's he from? Is he from? No. I had a couple run-ins with Lance. One was in I think it was 89 National Time Trial Championships was in Colorado, and I had to go off first because I had to get back to Spokane because we had our Centennial Games, so they put me first, and I think Lance started behind me. Obviously, everyone started behind me. Being the first guy is not the best place to be, but I remember finishing, and shortly after finishing, crossing the line, kind of catching my breath, Lance comes flying by me and then grabs his brakes and looks at me and says, "Were you the first one to go?" I said, "Yeah, I was the first one off." "Oh, good, I caught everyone but you." And that was my just holding them off. But not a lot of experience with him, but a lot more with a lot of the other guys that were prominent in the 80s. So.
And you got into triathlon 97 or so.
Yeah, kind of obviously, you go through college and stuff, and you start to not have that, I guess, consistency in training with cycling and going to school, that weird thing. And so I started getting into triathlon, which was kind of weird because
Where were you at the time?
In Spokane still. Okay. A little around, but yeah, mainly racing the Pacific Northwest. And
Gonzaga?
I didn't go to Gonzaga, but I'm very aware of Gonzaga.
Okay, just checking.
Gotta get
this all.
So,
yeah, right on.
And then you become a family guy, and you don't get back into triathlon and you're talking 97, so you're talking USTS series.
Right.
You're talking all that.
Yeah.
You're talking Mike Pigg, you're talking Molina and all that type of stuff.
Short course stuff. I loved it. It was awesome. It was fast. It was fun. We had great races, I thought. A good series. USTS had just come back and raced a lot of those. Had a lot of fun in those.
Ironman at that point?
No.
Stayed away from that.
Crazy.
Family,
crazy talk.
Right?
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, no, family wasn't there. I got married in 97 to my wife, Jessie, and we spent a lot of time having just a great time together.
Yeah.
And I just did a little bit of triathlon for a couple of years, and then
you got back.
And then came back, Ironman Coeur d'Alene, popped into Coeur d'Alene, which is just a stone throw away
2003.
from Spokane.
Yeah, that's
03,
right.
yeah, which was an atrocious year.
Hot.
Yeah.
One of the hottest Ironman races, I think, ever. 105 degrees.
Well, you guys are putting that on, right?
Aid station volunteers
go down.
We were having to send ambulances for aid station, let alone athletes.
And if I recall, I think a week prior to that, they had snow.
Yeah, it was freezing cold.
Yeah. So I mean,
it was crazy.
We love our weather.
Wow.
But yeah. So and I had our daughter that year. We're going to at that point when I started training for that.
Yeah.
So she was born June 9th, and then the Ironman Coeur d'Alene was shortly thereafter. And
so, let's talk a little bit about Team Timex. You became a member in 2008.
Yeah.
So you're a veteran. You've been around for a while. But what I love about the team,
reluctant.
Well, it's 2014.
Makes you feel old.
I feel like I need a beard and.
Don't worry,
stuff,
Bob's got socks that are older than you. So
listen, it's the senior. It's called the senior league.
Right.
You're in the senior league. So what I love about the Team Timex is I was lucky enough to speak to the group a couple of years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was at the Giants Stadium, right? The New York Giants and Jet Stadium. And when the Timex team came in, their uniforms were hanging in the same locker as Eli Manning's gear.
That's cool.
I just love that. It's really a special group. What did obviously you've been involved for a while.
You know, it's been a phenomenal team to be a part of.
Yeah.
Timex is phenomenal. They really take great care of us and load us up with the stuff we need to be successful, with also some partner sponsors with Blue 70 and Trek and Shimano, Nathan, and again, I'm sure you've heard Tim talk about all these as well. But yeah, it's been it's such a neat team to be a part of. Great people, and it's more than just athletes that are getting results. It's athletes that are having an impact on, you know, from the middle of the pack, back of the pack, front of the pack, social reach, everything. So everyone, I think, you look at the piece of the pie, I think everyone is adding different parts to it. Very few people add every piece to it. So.
And the other thing is with the team, you guys are spread out around the country.
Correct,
You're in Washington.
The world.
Around the world.
Yeah. Oh, around the world.
Yeah.
And where do you live, Lisa?
Tucson, Arizona.
That's right, Tucson. So you guys are mentors for you're representatives of Timex with the new products, but also just sort of brand ambassadors.
Right.
Correct.
Lisa, you want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah, so I think strategically we are located around the country and around the world just for that very reason, because I think all the different areas of the world, you know, have different specialties, and you know, for instance, you know, me being in Arizona now, I kind of bring a big Southwest component to the team that I don't think that we had before.
Yeah, right.
And I'm a newbie on the team, so whereas, you know, he's a veteran. This is my first year on the team.
See, veteran.
Yes.
Veteran.
Yes.
Yes.
It's good. It's very distinguished.
Thrown out an awful
Own
lot.
it. Just own the veteran. It's good. It's
Twice
good.
in
Yeah.
one.
See.
Seasoned veteran.
Seasoned veteran.
Lisa, now that you're here, now that you're officially in, you're in that top 35 or 37, whatever it is. What are your goals? What are you looking for?
My goal is to, first of all, enjoy the day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm shooting for top 10. I'm going to go for it.
Really?
Yes.
Good for you.
I'm shooting
Have you
for it.
noticed that there's some pretty good women here?
There's a couple good ones. Yeah.
There's some really, top 10 is great.
Yeah.
No
What
reason
else
why
would you-
not.
Why not?
I mean, you're here.
Yeah.
Have you ever trained in Tucson, Bob?
No. Is it warm?
Perfect.
Have you ever ridden your bike through a haboob?
I don't even know what a haboob is.
See? Okay, there you go.
What is a haboob? I love that.
You know what? It only became a haboob in the last like 10 years or so. We used to call them dust storms.
Oh.
Yeah.
That kind of aggravates me, but whatever. Yeah.
Oh, so
You don't like the word haboob?
Is a dust
No,
storm?
it's like they're trying to make it exotic. It's a dust
It's a
storm.
massive dust storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever ridden out to Ajo, you know, like
Oh,
Colossal
yeah.
Cave? Yeah. There's
Yeah.
some wind out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, she knows what it's,
She knows that.
good preparation.
So, Roger, second in your age group this year, 15th overall at Canada.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whistler's a beautiful course, and I cannot plug that race enough. It's a bummer for me to see races like Coeur d'Alene, like Tahoe, like Whistler, these very difficult, challenging courses not filling up because the venue is just spectacular. Yeah.
Huddle likes all the races to
Top
be
15?
fast and flat.
Yes, absolutely.
That's why he had nothing to do with.
Yeah.
That's why he had nothing to do with St. George or any of the rest of it.
Yeah, that's a bummer too.
Huddle shares your feeling that the events need to have a character.
Yeah.
The
They need
character
to
here is
represent the terrain and the landscape around
Absolutely.
them and not be focused on river valleys and things like that.
Right.
Yes.
So 15th overall at Whistler,
Yes.
top 15 here?
I'm anticipating that.
Yeah. Nice. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know,
Now, what age division, Roger?
I'm 40 to 44.
That's
so
not
you're a
very
young guy. That's not even a
competitive.
senior
Yeah.
guy.
There's
no.
not many guys in that division.
Just shaking the legs out, yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
Now, what is the plan?
You know, coming from the Pacific Northwest, we don't have Arizona.
I hear excuse
You know,
coming.
no.
I
Here's
You
it's
have
not
wind.
an excuse.
You have wind.
We've got awesome in Pacific Northwest. So you know, it's I'm looking forward to getting on the bike and you know, seeing what's out there, and then just, I guess, having the race that I'm capable of having.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Top 10 probably if a lot of people don't finish, and there's a lot of penalties.
In terms of age group?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, gosh, you just don't know. I mean,
Do you know the other players
I
at
wanna
this
know-
point?
and that's why I'm saying that.
Because you know the other guys.
I do know the
What
other
did it
guys.
take to get second? What was your time in Whistler?
9:30.
See, this is what freaks me out. It's getting so fast.
Ridiculous.
It's getting so deep.
Ridiculous.
And it's obviously this race, of course. I mean, what do you think you're going to have to go to finish top 5 here in your age group?
Top 5 would be low nines.
like 9:05.
Yeah,
For
four
40 to
faster.
44.
Yeah. And that time won the Ironman back in the day.
Right.
Dave Scott won 9 times.
I often roll back to look at the times of, wow, I would have been really competitive in the late 70s. I could have dominated.
Now you look and go, I would be I'd be really competitive in the women's 70 to 74,
right.
if only.
Yeah. I think,
So in terms of the Timex just came out with a whole bunch of new products.
Right.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about what new products that you've been using and you've been liking.
Well, the new products, not very many of us have been using because they are definitely just being launched.
So
Matter of fact, I just got my hands on the new, One GPS Plus that just came out, which is a phenomenal product hooked up with AT&T. It's the smart watch that's just doing everything. And I think one of the coolest features about it is the ability for it to be tracked when you're out running, as well as kind of that emergency to kind of locate you if something were to happen. I know a lot of people run with their phones, and so there's a lot of safety features being built into them, which is not something that we normally saw back when the early days of the first Ironman watch in '86.
So this sounds like trouble, though. So when you actually say, "Honey, I'm going for a long ride,"
exactly,
she knows.
She's like, "He's at Starbucks. I knew it."
Yeah, and that has come up. Is this a good thing?
Yeah.
No, it's a neat product, and it'll be out here soon. But it's a really classy looking product as well. So.
Love it. Thanks, you guys, for coming on. Really appreciate it. Lisa and Roger have been our guests. Poncho Man, come on back out. Again, this is a breakfast from Kona. My name is Bob Babbitt. His name is Paul Huddle. We are presented by Active, #Inspired to Race. Every one of our guests gets an awesome Timex watch. We're also brought to you by Rudy Project, GoPro, MPA Graphics, Lava Magazine, Babbittville Radio, and Mr. Poncho the Man.
Ooh, let me take you to the mountains. I say, ooh, let me take you to the sea. Breakfast with Bob. It's breakfast with Bob and Paul.
Paul Huddle is the crouton on the salad.
Yes.
Extra croutons.
But a happy crouton.
Yes.
He's still...